Hello and welcome to News Round, where we do a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. Coming up, after weeks of conflict over seating rearrangements, accusations of sexual harassment and counter-accusations, Senate suspends Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months for violating Senate rules. The Lagos High Court adjourns all pending cases over the impeachment of Obasa as Speaker of the State Assembly on January 13th. And it's good news for 774 young Nigerians participating in the National Health Fellows Program, as President Bola Tinubu offers them automatic employment at the end of their tenure. Plus, U.S. President Donald Trump's address to Congress is characterized by his thoughts on the war in Ukraine, the trade tariffs to Canada, China, and Mexico, and America's interests in the Gulf of Mexico. And that's News Round in View. Well, the Senate has suspended the senator representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, for 6 months, effective from Thursday, March 6, 2025. This follows the submission and consideration of a report by the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Code of Conduct, which cited her total violation of the Senate rules.
The dust had hardly settled from the dramatic scenes recorded in the National Assembly on Wednesday, when it seemed there was a repeat performance by Thursday, when the Senate President arrived for plenary. Once again, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan refused to stand, defying Senate protocol for presiding officers. At the start of plenary, tensions rose slightly as the Senate Chief Whip called out the Kogi lawmaker for repeatedly violating the rules.
I have to send one of the sergeant-at-arms to her that her conduct is in breach of this rule. So I am urging the indulgence of Senator Natasha to please observe our rules.
Armed with another document, the Kogi lawmaker seeks permission to resubmit a petition alleging sexual harassment against the Senate president, which was dismissed on Wednesday for procedural irregularities. This time it is signed by her constituents.
And the petition is against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuses of office, and malicious obstruction of legislative functions of distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. So with your kind permission, may I please lay this petition?
Is there any legal impediment? Please proceed to lay the petition.
Shortly after, the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions submits its report detailing its investigation into Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan's unparliamentary conduct during plenary on January 20, among others.
That all efforts to get Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan to move to her newly assigned seat fell on deaf ears as Senator Natasha Uduaghan-Akpoti continued shouting on top of her voice and pointing her fingers at the presiding officer.
Recommendations contained in the no less than 6-page report read by the chairman include a 6-month suspension. Lawmakers immediately launch a debate into the findings.
If you follow the sequence, issues of discrimination cannot be proven. It is actually the opposite. That under your leadership, distinguished Senator Mrs. Uduaghan can claim victimization based on facts.
Today, we are faced with this situation that we all know impinges on the integrity of this institution. We want to ask if it is convenient for the Senate and Mr. President that the 6 months punishment for suspension be reduced to 3 months.
My advice and appeal to her will be that she spends her period of suspension to read and learn our rules very well.
Prayer 1. Yes. That the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to a public opprobrium. With effect from 6th day of March 2025, from all legislative activities forward. Those in support of prayer 3 say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Contrary to the majority decision, the Senate President rules in favor of leniency if a written apology emerges.
Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration by the Nigerian Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. For the duration of her suspension, she cannot come or be seen within the vicinity of the National Assembly.
Following the ruling, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan is escorted out of the chamber by the Sergeant-at-Arms, but not without a reaction, breaching one more rule before her exit.
This injustice will not be sustained. The pursuit for justice.
A total number of 30 members of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions endorsed the recommendations that has led to the eventual suspension of Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, who was sworn in 16 months ago. This would be the third suspension under the 10th Assembly. It is now unclear whether the senator would tender a written apology to her colleagues or not. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
And in what can be described as a scene from a movie, the crisis rocking the Lagos State House of Assembly took another dimension with the return of Mudashiru Obasa as the Speaker. Mr. Obasa was then re-elected as the Speaker of the Assembly following the resignation of Mojisola Miranda, who served as the Speaker of the State Assembly for 49 days.
It's been a roller coaster of events at the Lagos State House of Assembly since January 13, when 36 lawmakers impeached Mudashiru Obasa and elected Mojisola Miranda as the first female Speaker of the Assembly.
And so help me God.
From Mudashiru Obasa's sudden return to proclaim himself as Speaker with 4 members of the House, to the lawsuit challenging the legality of Obasa's removal, Lagosians have watched with keen interest when and how the crisis will eventually be resolved. The first sign that something was in the offing this Monday is the presence of security operatives around the Assembly complex. Shortly after a meeting between the two key figures in the crisis, the state chairman of the All Progressives Congress, the state attorney general, gets underway, lasting about 3 hours. And then the group moves into the chamber for the day's plenary session, presided over by Mojisola Miranda. She makes the first big announcement of the day.
Just like we know that the party decision is supreme. At this point, I take a bow as your Speaker, and I step down as your Speaker of this great House. I am not a quitter. However, I took the above decision in order to save this legislative institution from further unnecessary conflict and embarrassment.
And more resignations are to follow, with the lawmakers extolling the leadership qualities of Honorable Miranda in the last 49 days.
You are a hero of democracy. Or call it heroine, whichever way. You are a valiant. You are an achiever. You are a winner. There's one quality I see in you. It's called leadership awareness. You sense your environment. And that is something that is great, because only powerful leaders are able to foresee the unseen and sense the unknown.
To nominate Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Obasa to take the chair as the Speaker of this prestigious Lagos State House of Assembly. I so nominate.
In what looks like a well-written script, Mudashiru Obasa was nominated as the new Speaker of the House and immediately steps in to take his oath of office.
Thank you.
What is happening here today shows that Lagos State House of Assembly is very capable, and it's a house of integrity, a mature house that has internal mechanism to resolve in the interest of the institution and our party.
Honorable Miranda was also re-elected to her previous position of Deputy Speaker alongside other new principal officers. On the surface, it may look like the leadership crisis at the Assembly has been resolved. Political observers are, however, watching to see what plays out at the Assembly in the next few weeks.
And now the dust over the leadership tussle at the Lagos State Legislature settled, but the matter isn't over just yet. The suit filed by Honorable Mudashiru Obasa to challenge his removal as Speaker of the Lagos House of Assembly continued today at the State High Court sitting in Ikeja. Justice Yetunde Pinero had adjourned till Monday, March 10th, to hear all new and pending applications in the matter.
At the last sitting of the court on Friday, February 28, Justice Yetunde Pinero had ordered that all lawmakers be joined in the suit filed by Honorable Mudashiru Obasa to challenge his removal as Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. The court then adjourned to hear all applications filed by parties in the suit. At the proceedings this Friday, Deputy Speaker Honorable Mojisola Miranda and some of the lawmakers were present in court. Their lawyers told Justice Pinero that with Honorable Obasa's reinstatement as Speaker, the suit had become spent. They said they had filed applications asking the court to dismiss the suit on the grounds that it had become an academic exercise. There is also another application challenging the power of the court to look into the inner workings of the Legislative Assembly. While these applications are pending, new lawyers have joined the suit. Senior Advocate of Nigeria Olushola Idowu and Mr. Abangan Panyong told the court that they have an application seeking to replace Mr. Falana as counsel to the lawmakers. Another senior advocate who's just joined the suit, Clement Onwewuno, is representing the majority leader of the House and 3 other lawmakers loyal to Speaker Obasa. They also have an application challenging the procedure adopted by the majority in the removal of Honorable Obasa as the Speaker. Outside the courtroom, counsel to Speaker Obasa reiterates this point, insisting that his client was not given a fair hearing to respond to the allegations made against him.
Because of the allegations contained in the notice of impeachment, allegations like fraud, high-handedness, and the rest of them. So we need to get that one sorted out. So that's why it is not academic.
Lawyers acting on record for the lawmakers insist that the suit has become academic as proper procedure was adopted in its removal.
As far as we are concerned, the case before the court is a challenge of the removal of Honorable Obasa. Since he has now been re-elected, that is the end of the... As far as we are concerned, we believe that the case has become academic.
Obasa is hinging his suit based on the rules of the House of Assembly, but while his removal was based on the constitutional provision. And if you peg the two together, the Constitution supersedes the rules of the House of Assembly. So that is what our clients are relying on.
With all the claims and counterclaims, Justice Pinero has asked all parties to file, serve, and settle all necessary processes to enable the court hear all these pending applications at the next adjourned date, Monday, March 10. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
Welcome back. Well, you're still getting the top stories from this week, and we see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has offered automatic employment to 774 young Nigerians who participated in the National Health Fellows Program after their one-year tenure. The president made this announcement during the launch of the National Health Fellows Program in Abuja, a key initiative under the President's Renewed Hope agenda to revitalize Nigeria's primary healthcare system.
In a grand ceremony held at the banquet hall of the State House, President Bola Tinubu, flanked by the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, and other top government officials, gathered for the launch of the National Health Fellows Program, a flagship initiative aimed at revitalizing Nigeria's primary healthcare system. Some of the dignitaries in attendance include 7 ministers, National Assembly members, the Olu of Warri, Ogami Atuwashi III, among others. The program, which seeks to deploy 774 young fellows to monitor primary healthcare centers, PHCs, across all 774 local government areas, is designed to drive meaningful change with innovation in the health sector. The hall is populated by health fellows, and the coordinating Minister for Health and Social Welfare wishes that the beneficiaries will be given automatic employment.
And this 774 National Health Fellows are key agents. They are the social accountability agents to ensure that we build further on the momentum to recreate, to renew the Nigerian health sector. May I plead on behalf of all of them, Your Excellency, that at the end of their fellowship program, if we encourage the federal government, federal civil service, and the state civil service to give them some priority consideration.
The program is hailed as a game changer in primary health care across the 774 local government to revolutionize the delivery of quality healthcare services to grassroots communities.
And what is happening here today is one aspect of His Excellency's Mr. President's preparation of young Nigerians for the world. Today, it is empowering people to provide services in the health sector to their communities.
I want to pledge to all of you today that where it concerns me and my fellow traditional rulers across this country, that we will provide a safe environment and give good counsel and support to the fellows on their leadership journeys.
As President Tinubu makes his way to the podium, the fellows are eager for some good news. Before delivering the news, the president commenced the initiative.
This administration has championed the National Health Fellowship Program. We are very proud of this. A rigorous and transparent initiative to select some of our most talented young minds from a competitive pool of over 300,000 applicants.
In a move that sparks excitement among the fellows, the president makes an announcement.
The coordinating minister and the champion of this program has requested for an approval. And luckily, the Minister of Finance coordinating economy is here also. So for that, you are hired.
As the National Health Fellows Program takes off, expectations are high that it will mark a turning point in Nigeria's healthcare sector, leading to improved health outcomes. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
And the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Akpoti-Uduaghan, says President Bola Tinubu's foreign trips have accumulated $50.8 billion in proposed investment. Mrs. Uduaghan made the disclosure during a ministerial briefing in Abuja, also announced that the ministry has positioned Nigeria as a key player in the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
It's the turn of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment in the third series of the federal government's ministerial briefings, organized by the Ministry of Information and National Orientation.
Free trade and investments here.
Permanent secretaries, heads of agencies, directors and members of the media gather as the Minister of Information speaks on the expected impact of the 2025 budget on the economy.
It is a bold statement of intent, a roadmap for economic resilience, social stability, and national progress. The budget has demonstrated a renewed focus on security, infrastructure, education, health, solid minerals, agriculture, and other key areas that have a direct impact on the well-being and the socio-economic development of our country.
The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment then takes the podium and highlights some key reforms of the ministry, as well as the investment inflows and policy advancements in the past year.
The key outcomes of this engagement was the announcement of the establishment of the Industrial Revolution Work Group, an elite task force focused on re-engineering the Nigerian Industrial Revolution Plan for a modern, innovation-driven economy. Digital public infrastructure, much needed in this climate, like the National Single Window Project, has been launched and is ongoing. It's right now in the implementation stage. Mr. President inaugurated it last year, and the committee did a lot of background work. Finally, Nigeria is going to have a national single window digital infrastructure, and that exponentially increases trade.
The briefing also touched on Nigeria's participation in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement and the effort to protect local manufacturers.
From November, the FCFTA Council of Ministers met, and immediately Nigeria registered its interest in Digital Trade Championship at that time at the 15th meeting of the FCFTA Council of Ministers in Addis Ababa. Technically, the implementation and the review of our 5-year implementation led to Mr. President getting a commendation at Addis Ababa by the FCFTA champion, and of course, we were awarded the Digital Trade Championship along with we're happy to lead and work with other countries.
One of the things that government and the ministry is currently looking at and pursuing is on how to get our manufacturers to benefit from an appropriate, pricing of gas. I think that this is likely going to be the game changer, that our manufacturers and our industrialists are also able to purchase gas the same way that it's done, in mostly, some other sectors of our economy.
The ministerial briefing is expected to continue in the coming days as the federal government aims to keep Nigerians informed on government activities and ensures citizens remain active participants in governance and development. From Abuja, Victoria Longchun, Channels Television News.
And finally, on News Round, U.S. President Donald Trump made his first speech to Congress this week, declaring the American dream is unstoppable. In his presidential speech, said to have been the longest to lawmakers on record, President Trump outlined his vision for his second term as Republicans applauded a high-octane 6 weeks that have shaped domestic and foreign policy. Trump played down the potential economic fallout from a trade war he ignited this week, including 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada and an additional 10% on Chinese imports, saying tariffs are about making America rich again and great again. Trump added that reciprocal tariffs tailored to U.S. trading partners would kick in on April the 2nd. Trump said he had received an important letter from Ukraine's leader earlier in the day, which appeared to match what Volodymyr Zelensky posted publicly on social media. Ukraine's president has said he was now ready to work under Trump's strong leadership to end the war and come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States. I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
And those were the top stories for the first week of March. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ladi Williams. Bye for now.